Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an instructive game to share with you from 2005 on the white end, Baadur Jobava playing against Vasyl Ivanchuk. All right, on board we have here a Queen's Indian defense. Move 4, Bishop G5, pinning piece immediately questioned. More long term, Black's happy having a flight square already. Pin only now, broken. Knight C3, duo challenged. And this trio, before d5 can be played, is broken up. Follow up d6, and from here we see knight d to b5. Computer doesn't like this. It's saying better develop bishop d3, for instance. All right, what's white's idea with knight d to b5? Let's see. It has some pressure, clearly, on d6. In a way, with this move, white's looking to interfere or take advantage of, we might say, this overloaded bishop here on e7. Two responsibilities because of the pressure on f6 and d6. But here, Ivanchuk says, get out of my house. Follow-up, bishop takes knight. And you may think that black is going to take now towards the center and make sure this pawn doesn't fall, but Ivanchuk says go ahead and take that pawn. We see just that. He says take that pawn, and at the same time, I'm all right, going uncastled. Where's the compensation for this pawn? Well, it's this piece right here. It's a very strong piece, really the star piece in the game. White will experience dark square weaknesses in this game. Unopposed dark square bishop, big gap here on d4. It's a whole productive bishop, not so productive bishop in this game. Follow up from here. Knight takes bishop, queen takes knight. The knight didn't have, it's pretty much a stuck piece. That was a welcome exchange for black to see there, the knight for light square bishop exchange. That's now one less white minor piece that can try to control the dark squares in white's camp, mainly that d4 square. From here, knight to a4. Computer is saying f4 here. I don't think you're going to find many humans playing this move. There is this idea available. White is getting out of this capture, putting pressure on b6 with knight to a4. This is how the computer wants to play it. Again, not at all appealing for a human taking on these double isolated pawns. This knight will be fantastic on the c5 square. Okay, no f4 in this position. It's knight a4, rook d8, queen b3, knight d7, and from here we have a check on a3. The win of this pawn here, white would just be asking for trouble. Big trouble. So if you go in for this pawn grab, there's rook b8 to follow. This is a disaster. Queen b7, targeting this, targeting that. This is a winning position for black. No development. And black is fully developed. And this king, you might as well regard the king as castled here. Nice and cozy on e7. Some silly checks could eventually hide, no problems. Winning position here for black. So it would not be a good idea, in other words, for white to go ahead and swipe this pawn. It's queen a3 check. And now the follow-up, my favorite move, really, of this game, Ivanchuk plays knight to c5. And before you can play this move, you have to know, you have to have something in mind for sure if the knight is going to capture here on b6, landing a fork, swiping the rook next. That's not how white plays it. White does play the best move here, bishop e2, step away from kingside castles. But the question here really is what in the world is going on if white had captured on b6? So what did Chucky here have up his sleeve? Well, he was prepared to meet this move with queen c6 and prepared to meet knight takes rook with this star move. Bishop captures b2. This is the only move that wins for black in this position. This attracts the queen to a more vulnerable square, landing this fork. Queen takes bishop. There would now follow queen takes e4, and this queen will be won shortly. You have to block. You would have to block now with one of these two pieces on e2. You block with the bishop, knight d3. In fact, knight d3 in reply to either block on this e2 square, but block with the bishop. There's the check, taking advantage of the pinned bishop, and the queen will fall. And if the queen blocks, yet again, this check, king goes to the d file, the knight moves, discovered check, and the queen is lost. So that is a sharp move right there to be sure. Bishop captures b2 in this position. Had to spot that before playing. Knight c5 here. White follows here with bishop e2, queen c6, and from here we see knight takes knight. Computer says best put the knight on c3, give up the bishop for knight, give up the e4 pawn. It's knight takes knight in this game, queen takes knight, and the follow-up from here is b4. This queen recapture is not some invitation to entering a drawn rook ending. With these opposite color bishops, we would not really be looking at a drawn ending. Black would be pressing in such an ending despite being down the pawn. So just to put this on, if we had the queen exchange, what are you doing about this? Just the win of the pawn right back. Again, this big square on d4 for the bishop is available. If you try to hang on to the pawn, there's more pressure here. You play b3, there's a check, the king is uncastled, the rook enters. We would be looking at a decisive position there. This hole on d4 has a big impact on the f2 square, keep in mind. Because black has access to this square, we could easily see coordinated pressure on f2. We don't necessarily need the queens on board. A bishop, a rook on the second rank, can easily place white in a difficult spot. Okay, we do not see the queen exchange here after queen recapture on c5. It's b4, queen g5. This is a double attack. g2, a1. Queen also has an eye on the d2 square. Rook d1. Queen takes g2. Discovered check. King e8. Pair of rooks off. And now this counterattack. Hitting the queen, defending the rook. Queen g5. Still with an eye on these dark squares. Queen d2 right around the corner. White has now a passed pawn, but black is quickly back on the offensive. Queen d2 check it is. King f1. Bishop d4. And there we go. Bishop, the light square bishop here, rarely can defend dark squares. An exception here. It's able to interfere. Rank interference here. Bishop e2 defense. Bishop c5. Queen g3. Queen takes a. And from here we see queen takes g7. Now the computer says best is to push this pawn, distract the queen, and only then take. All right, even in that position, we're still looking at an evaluation around minus 1.5, still very good for black. This remains a powerhouse piece, the dark square bishop. All right, in this one, though, we see queen takes g7, and this is now especially sensitive. This allows black to hop to that first rank with check, poison rook. It'll be mate on f2. So the king has to run. Rook takes rook. If you take the rook, bishop falls. There's a mate threat. This pawn is not dangerous enough, not close enough to promotion. So the try from here in this already busted position by now is queen h8 check, king d7, and after a7, we see queen takes bishop and white resigns. There's no time to promote to a new queen. If you go for this, it would lead to checkmate. Queen takes f2, take the rook. There's a couple mate in ones, or in fact, 3 mate in ones. And if you run to h3, there's a couple mate in twos from here. Chop with the rook, rook to h4 next, or you could just work with the queen and this monster dark square bishop for mate. All right, how this one plays out though. After queen takes bishop, white simply threw in the towel. So what did you think of this one? Feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.